There's something absolutely phenomenal locked up in you. Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. Yeah, if you're going after something you already know how to get, you're not growing.
The first step is to keep living with the idea. Don't let anybody steal the dream. Put it in writing. Write it out as clear as you can. You might begin by writing, I am so happy and grateful now that, and then explain how you want your life to be.
Now that I'm manifesting you. What's going on? Welcome to our channel. My name is Tiberius and I'm really into personal development. Is it personal development, self-help, personal growth? I think I used to say personal development and now I say personal growth more. Anyway, welcome to our channel. My name is Tiberius and I'm into manifesting. You might have met before through our other social media channels or our personal development project, maybe through our Instagram live shows on Law of Attraction Life. Quite a few million people have been impacted by our work in the past few years. Right now, I'm traveling the world. I'm obsessed about philosophy and self-help, and I'm kind of connecting with the greatest minds of the past and present and learning from them, extracting their best wisdom. And it's my pleasure to share what I'm learning with you through this channel. So far, I've gathered some really good information, and I think it's simple information that can empower us to use more of what we really have inside, because we're very powerful. The person you heard delivering those truth bombs in the beginning of the video is my personal mentor, Bob Proctor. He's a legend in this field of personal growth and development. He's impacted millions of people in his career, and he's the person that taught me how to believe in myself more and how to use more of my mental powers. His philosophy is simple, very powerful, but yet missed or misunderstood. We become what we think about. That's what he teaches. And the more we learn how our mind operates, the more we can take charge of our mental power and the more we can manifest the life we want. That man's, Bob Proctor's, teachings transformed my life. And in this video, I want to share with you three main concepts that changed my life so much in the beginning. And I believe that if they work for me, they can work for anyone. I also want to share a bit of my story with you in this video, and I'm also curious to learn more about your story. So you can use the comment section to talk a bit about yourself and your story, and I'm gonna go through all of the comments and I'm gonna try to respond to as many as possible. My story began when I was 19, and this is when I found this life-changing information through a movie, The Secret. And that's how I also met Bob Proctor. And that's when my life changed in unimaginable ways. He made me understand and believe that we are truly born with amazing potential that we never really get to understand or tap into. And he helped me get the lid off my imagination and believe that better things are possible for me, regardless of where I'm coming from. He taught me, but also made me believe that we are born with amazing potential that we never really get a chance to understand or tap into. And his teachings kind of removed the lid out of my limited imagination and made me believe that things are possible for me. I would go on these long walks and he would be in my headphones telling me that life is amazing, telling me that we can have whatever we want, telling me that life should be an extraordinary adventure. It should never be a bore.
For Law of Attraction Life family.
It was the first time I was hearing information like this from someone. Before that, I just heard that things are not possible. I grew up in an environment where no one had much, when we struggled, where we were faced with so many limiting beliefs. And that kind of was my reality. Not possible, not enough, not worthy, not for us, not for this part of the world. And the truth is that everything in my environment reflected that, because you look around and you see that things are not possible, that people don't have enough, that people never really get anywhere. And that was my reality. Quick backstory. I was born in Romania just when communism went down, and things were really tough. I can look back now and I can see how much damage communism inflicted in the lives and most importantly, the psyche of people. Yes. There was so much struggle, there was so much uncertainty, there was so much abuse on the street, in homes, in school, a fear-driven way of government and control, so much financial struggle. I remember it was everywhere. I also had some health issues and I had to deal with ex-communist hospitals since I was a kid. going to the hospital multiple times, having like 12 surgeries, and things weren't nice over there. Like, I've seen a lot. And that really led me to believe that very few things are possible, and I also had some real self-confidence issues. And I didn't believe a lot of things were possible for me. But then this information found me, and I'm learning from Bob that it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what you've been through. Your life can change if you learn how to use the power of your mind. You are more powerful than any adversity. There's a powerful consciousness running through us. And if we understand how this works, and if we also understand some universal laws and principles and get in alignment with them, we can manifest a better life for ourselves. And things started to change in a big way. In less than 1 year, I went from living in an ex-communist apartment, paying 40 euros a month, having a job that would pay me $300 a month, a good job actually, to never being out of my country, never dreaming about much, to having this amazing lifestyle where I could travel the world, where I could build businesses that I really enjoyed, that were impactful, to working with some of the biggest names in this world of personal development, even sharing stages with some of them and earning the money to support a really good lifestyle. I also transformed my physical health, and I developed so many meaningful relationships. I have friends all over the world, and I also do business all over the world. And nowadays we have communities that inspire tens of millions of people every single month. Like, I feel I need a telescope to just look back to where I started. And I believe it all started happening for me because of these three main manifesting concepts.
Set a goal to achieve something so big, so accelerated, that it excites and scares you at the same time. It must be a goal that is so appealing, so much in harmony with your spiritual core, that you cannot get it out of your mind.
The goal you set, you should know how to get there. If you know how to get there, it's the wrong goal.
I remember learning this from Bob Proctor when I first started out. It was in one of his programs that I bought back then, and I remember paying more than half of my salary for. It wasn't much, it was like $200, but that was a lot of money for me back then. I was nervous, on one side because I paid a lot of money for it, but on the other side I was nervous because I really hoped that this worked. Because it was like life was offering me a golden ticket, and I was really willing to give it a good shot, and I was really willing to follow the instructions that the program offered. And in the program, Bob said that we are operating with very little of our potential, that we have deep reservoirs of talent and ability that we don't really tap into, that we have a very powerful imagination that we often misuse, and then we usually entertain and hold in our minds images and low vibrational thoughts that keep manifesting low vibrational things. But he also said that if we decide to set a big goal, something that's big, something that scares and excites us at the same time, some creative energies will start flowing, some spiritual energies will start flowing, and then we're going to tap more into that potential. And he said, set a goal that scares and excites you at the same time, something that you have no idea how to achieve. And then he asked the students of the program to make a bit of a shopping list of what they want to achieve. Now I was making a list, and as I was writing things down, a voice started speaking in my head, and it was saying, wouldn't it be great if you would learn how to teach information like this from Bob to people in your country? Because on one side I really knew that, and as many oppressed countries, we have a lot of resources, we have a lot of richness, but the mentality keeps people impoverished. So I really felt like doing that. And then that voice went on and even said something else. It said, wouldn't it be great if Bob Proctor would come and teach this information in Romania? And then another voice just came and said, yeah, but it's impossible. You can't do it. You don't have the money, you don't have the age, you don't have the connections, you don't have the experience. Who do you think you are? You're only 19. And then I caught myself telling to myself that something that I have no idea how it works is impossible. And then I realized that this is exactly what Bob Proctor talks about. This is what he's talking about in his program. We let our reasoning, we let our experience, we think we know how things work, and many times we sabotage and we cheat ourselves into even giving ourselves a chance to think big. So I wrote it down. I wrote down that I'm going to learn how to teach this information, and that I'm also going to be on stage with Bob Proctor in Romania. that was it. That was my goal. I had no idea how I was going to reach it. It scared and excited me at the same time. Pretty soon I found out that if I wanted to be trained by Bob's company to teach this information, I had to go and travel to the US, which was pretty impossible for me because it was very hard for me to get a visa with my current financial situation, my age, experience. Going to the US is quite challenging. And in order to be able to afford that, I had to set aside a salary each month for 7 years to make that happen. I also found out that if I would be organizing an event with Bob in Romania, I would have to set a salary aside for 21 years. So it was basically impossible. And it was perfect because it was the type of goal he was talking about. And this was amazing for me. I had the best opportunity to test if this works. And I did, and it worked. In less than 1 year, I was on stage with Bob Proctor in Romania. And then in less than 1 year from that, when I turned 21, I was having lunch with him in Florida, in Delray Beach, getting certified to teach his information in my country. Then after a while, I moved to the US to learn more about how this world works, be closer to my mentors. And life has been an amazing adventure since then. I ended up opening several businesses in this world, creating communities that inspire millions of people. And I still set and achieve big and scary goals. Big and scary because the only fear we have is our ignorance. And when we really set something that challenges us, what we're really doing, we're proving to ourselves how amazing we really are. The real purpose of a goal, as Bob would say, is to grow. I still set goals that scare and excite me at the same time. And just amazing where life can lead you. And I want to lead you now into the second concept, which is naivety. Now, I'm not telling you to be naive. I'm not saying, hey, just go out there and be naive all the time. All I'm saying is that naivety usually has a negative connotations. People are like, oh, don't be naive. But the thing about naivety is that it has a positive connotation as well. It can help us keep an open mind. It can help us get a fresh outlook on things. It can help us really work with our subconscious forces that many times are trying to guide us or to see some of the signs that the universe is bringing to us, but we just decline them or reject them because we think we know how things work. We know better. The truth is that many times we believe we know how things work, but we really don't. We never study things in their detail. We never really know how things work. We just have vague opinions about things, many of them that have been impressed upon us by others. So I'm encouraging having a smart naivety, keeping an open mind to things, saying, hey, what if this would really work? What if this goal that I'm setting for myself works? What could I do? Because in that program, after you set a big goal, Bob says to start with whatever you got in that moment. Don't wait for things to be perfect. Don't delay things. Just get started by taking some kind of action. Just start with whatever resources you have at hand. Don't wait for the right moment. And I just started doing that. I didn't have a lot of resources. I had no money, I had no contacts. But I thought, what could I do? If I'm gonna learn how to teach this information in my country, and if Bob's gonna come to Romania, well, what can I do? So I started translating some of his things. I started working on a website. I started getting certain quotes from rooms and conference centers and just started learning a bit more about how this works, how would organizing an event work. And you know what? Every single day, I would get new insights. Every single day, something would show up. Every single day, I would have like a bit of a next piece of the puzzle coming into my life. Then one thing led to another. And while I don't have time to go into the full story right now, I started attracting more money. I started getting better contacts. I was able to travel in to meet Bob, to talk to him. And over time, we organized that event with him in Romania. For some people, this might not be, let's say, a life-changing story, but it was for me, because I'm really coming from a place where things were just not possible. I'm gonna repeat it again. I just never knew that you could live life like I'm living right now. And I'm not saying this to brag. Maybe this is not the most life-changing story. But I do know that a lot of people are like myself, like I was. No resources, no hopes, a lot of self-confidence problems, just thinking that things are not possible. But at the same time, knowing that I'm a capable, smart person and I have some ambition. And I'm just trying to impress upon you that a lot of things are possible if you offer yourself some space and some open-mindedness towards achieving a big goal. And I do want to inspire to find something that you really love and to work on it and give yourself a chance. Because many times we put ourselves in a box. We let the voice of ignorance take control and command our actions. And it doesn't have to be like that. And the cool thing is that the universe will start giving you signs the moment you start working towards your goal. The universe always wants to correspond with us and to help us achieve what we want. And this leads me into my third concept, the third concept that really changed my life and got me confidence and got me faith into achieving that goal that I thought impossible in the beginning. There's always something we can do. There's always a step to take, a next step. And I think the universe always wants to show us the way. And this is what I want to talk about now, the third concept. Because I think this is something that we can start noticing straight away and something that can give faith along the journey, something that can give us more confidence. Signs and synchronicities. That's a very powerful quote from Albert Einstein. And I want to switch things a bit. I want to go from coincidence to synchronicities because I really think the universe gets a bit pissed off when I say, hey, what a coincidence. I think they're called synchronicities. Actually, Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, defines synchronicities as meaningful coincidences. He believed that synchronicities are not just random occurrences, but an underlying connection of a deeper order of a collective unconscious. He thought that things are not just random, and that things that appear into our lives appear with a purpose and a reason, and we should understand them and we should follow them, the signs and the synchronicities. He believed that we're all connected through this collective unconscious, and that when we deliberately set our journey, the universe will correspond through resources, signs, different coincidences, people that we meet along this hero's journey. Now, Bob said that the real purpose of a goal is to grow, is to become more aware of our spiritual connection to the divine, is to elevate ourselves, is to draw something out of ourselves that we never even knew it was there in the first place, to help us become more aware of our connection with spirit. And think about how many times do we see strange or even magical occurrences happening when we have something in our minds that we really want. This happens all the time, but I believe we lack the understanding, the processes, and even the confidence to start treating those signs as something real and something that we should follow and pursue. And when we really understand this creative process and how powerful our imaginations are, and if we really create some space in our life for the good that we desire and show some faith by creating some of that space, you're going to see that the universe will have a tendency to have a clearer channel with you and to correspond with more resources, signs, and amplify synchronicities. There's always a step in front of us, but we're just not trained to believe or to see. There's a guidance that never leaves us, and the more we give direction to our subconscious power through intentions, through clarity, and through following the synchronicities and through taking steps, the more evident that guidance and the more powerful that guidance will be. I want to encourage you to play with your imagination a bit. Just relax and, fantasize a bit. And think about some things that you really want, something that would really bring you joy, something that brings you happiness. And play with that idea for a few days. Keep visualizing it. Feel happy about it. Feel joyous about it. And then see how things start to become attracted around that idea. Look for signs, look for synchronicities. But in the same time, take a step back and observe how your thinking is trying to tell you reasons why it's not possible. And then really ask yourself, is this voice inside my head my voice? Is it a voice of truth? Or is it just a voice of ignorant opinions that I just got from my early life and my conditioning? And just play with these concepts. Play with your imagination, play with your reasoning, and just observe those voices. And I guarantee you that some things will start shifting, some things will start moving. And it's really a powerful, beautiful process. And keep an open mind. Like I said in the beginning, I had all circumstances telling me that things are not possible. But trust me, when you take a first step, you're gonna see the next one. And when sometimes you feel that there might not be a way will be made. And I remember Bob saying in that program that life should be an extraordinary adventure. It should never be a bore. And that's how I intend to live my life. And that's how I think we should all empower ourselves to do it. I just spent my past year in Greece, really connecting and tapping with some of the ancient Greek philosophers, some of the wisest minds of the past, going back 2,000, 2,500 years ago. And I'm working on some materials, some really powerful teachings, some gems that we can take and that we can apply in our lives today. And they're so relevant and they're so powerful. And I'm looking forward to share them with you in our next videos. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from me, and I'm looking forward to see you in our future ones. And don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Tiberius. I'll see you next time. Thank you.